Well, to be honest, I can't say I'm surprised. Let's begin. I don't know if it's just me, but some people nowadays, especially apparent lefty celebrities, always just seem to try and take the moral high ground, don't they? Without thinking of any potential consequences whatsoever. I mean, take Gary Lineker, for example. We generally see him quite a lot on Twitter voicing his opinions, which, don't get me wrong, he's perfectly entitled to do. I mean, I'm doing that at the moment myself. But obviously, he's a lot more famous than I'll probably ever be, so he has much more of a following. And who knows, he may have some sort of super van lurking about out there, hanging off his every word. And if so, I'm guessing that's probably some guy called Melvin who either, doesn't get out that much, or is possibly some deranged Walker's Crisp packet collector, or something like that. But either way, his words carry a lot more weight than most. So that being the case, you'd think he'd at least try to be a little bit careful in what he says. But as the Daily Express reports, he has appeared to be backing the actions of a group of eco-protesters who decide that it must, be a really good idea to run on a Formula 1 racetrack while the cars were still going around the track. Which surely isn't such a good idea, especially if people like Paul Melvin out there decide to do something similar in the hope that he also praises their actions. I mean, can you imagine it? Oh my god, Gary, I'm about to lay down on the runway to stop the planes! Please retweet! The article also says that the BBC star claimed that the protesters would be looked on favourably in history and that there was greater risk from climate change than there was attempting to delay a motorway. Martin Brundle, former British Formula 1 driver and current commentator on Sky Sports, pleaded with Mr. Lineker on Twitter not to encourage such reckless behaviour. We already had one lucky escape and I totally 100% support your freedom of speech and opinion, but do it responsibly. Technical editor for motorsport.com jumped into the fray. He said, Gary, do you realise they entered an active track? The race had started. The only reason we aren't talking about a tragedy here is because the race was red flagged for the start of the incident. I'm all for protests, but this wasn't how you go about it. It just does make me wonder if sometimes celebrities either say or do things just to get in the paper rather than purely for the cause itself. I mean, remember a few years ago, I think it was, when he let a refugee stay with him for a while. And, from what I've heard, he hasn't had one stay there since. And that was obviously before the whole Ukraine invasion happened, so I'm sure there'd be plenty more willing to stay at his house now. But it also seems that sometimes celebrities don't really think of their actions. Just like in this video where Katie Price managed to get away with something that I'm guessing the rest of us probably wouldn't have done. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.